Okay, hey everyone, welcome back to the Poporium. We have a lot of different stuff to talk about today. So we're here with Simran,
Hi.
and we are just coming back from seeing Fantastic Four. We just saw it in theaters not that long ago. What was that, the other day?
Yeah, it was like 2 days ago.
Right. So we're gonna give you a quick rundown and understanding of what we think about the movie and how the movie went, and then we're also gonna dive in a little bit to the little teaser trailer that came out while we were getting ready to watch the movie and one of the ads in the movie theaters. So for this first segment, I want to talk about Fantastic Four's first steps. It debuted July 25th and crushed the box office with 118 million domestically and another 100 million internationally, giving it a total of 218 million global opening. The Marvel's first $100 million opening for the year of 2025, a badly needed win after Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World underperformed in the box office. In my personal opinion, I don't feel as though Thunderbolts was bad. I feel like it was pretty good.
I liked Thunderbolts. I'm surprised that it underperformed, especially like considering all of the positive feedback that I heard about the movie.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. I didn't really understand like what the issue was with the film personally, like at all. I feel like all the actors in that movie did a really good job, and I feel like the person that played Sentry also did a phenomenal job of playing Sentry and playing Bob as being one of the main characters, one of the protagonists and antagonists all at the same time in the movie. And I really did feel like it really took the Marvel movies into a different direction. It focused a decent bit on mental health and how that is important, and it also touched on like a becoming family type of aspect of these individuals who are not heroes at all becoming heroes. And I just felt as though that was really cool in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I really liked the movie, and I think Fantastic Four was definitely another movie that I really enjoyed, along with Thunderbolts. But specifically, this version of Fantastic Four was very surprising, and I think they did a really great job with the effects and the acting. I really just enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, no, it was something else. I'll say the movie also saw 46% of the audience choosing premium formats like IMAX, 40x, and a lot of other ways of seeing the movie rather than seeing it the regular way,
Right.
which kind of helped, I guess, in the box office as well.
Yeah.
40x is becoming a really popular now with hero movies.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even see it in regular. I'm like regular you know, we saw it in 3D, and normally we see every movie regular. So this is a special movie that everybody kind of knew they wanted to get that experience for. So I think that's why most people chose those premium formats.
Yeah, because like playing the extra few dollars wasn't really like going to kill the bank anyway. Because we have Regal Unlimited. We're not sponsored, in any way. But like we do have Regal Unlimited, and it does help a lot. I will say that it is a perfect way to go get your movies and go watch your movies because you pay $20, like $23 a month, and you go to the movies as much as you want all day long, all week long, all month long, and it's really a good way to watch movies. But the film itself was again directed by Matt Shakeman, with a script by Josh Fredman and others. This version really did take a huge spin on the movie. I feel as though, in my opinion, we didn't have to get the same rundown story of, oh, these is the Fantastic Four, like this is how they got their powers and stuff like that. Like it was touched on, but it wasn't. They didn't go through the whole thing. Does that make sense? Like it was more like flashbacks of them
Hmm.
going on and going like, hey, like this is how they got their powers. Let's keep going. Let's kind of speed this
Right.
up.
I think they definitely focused more on the future aspect of things for the characters, which was good because, a lot of us already kind of have that idea of like, we already kind of know, their story. Especially if you've seen the other movies, you already know everything you need to know, but introducing, I think, child into the movie was really like that pivotal moment for them.
Yeah, and I firmly agree with that. And again, if you haven't seen the movie, like we will touch on one of the cutscenes, which and a decent amount of the movie, which will be a spoiler. So I'm just now putting it here for spoiler warnings. If you have not seen the movie yet, just skip this segment and move on to the to the last segment of this podcast here. But moving forward now, from the spoiler warning, yes, they introduced Franklin Richards, and I feel as though that he's about to be a really huge problem for the MCU universe. And it's quite literally the most strongest individual in Marvel cinema. If I'm correct in saying that, I feel like I am. I
Yeah.
don't feel like, yeah, I don't
I
feel like
mean,
like
as
like
a
I'm wrong
kid,
in
he
saying
was
that.
quite literally under his bed creating pocket universes. So, um, it's safe to say he's definitely not no normal MCU character. He's special.
Yeah, he in Star Wars terms, he's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like that's pretty much what he is in this universe. Like
Right.
he's Marvel Jesus. It's like if we want
Yeah, I
to like if
mean,
we want to
it's kind of
like
crazy to think about the fact that Sue Storms and Reed Richards just gave birth to Marvel Jesus, but they did. It's crazy.
right, like
That makes them,
because he has,
yeah.
yeah, he has. Well, what were you about to say just now?
No, I'm just saying that makes them like two very important characters in the MCU, like two extremely important characters.
Well, yeah, because like in my mind, I feel as though that it's important that we do have Franklin in this universe. Like if they're about to do Marvel Doomsday, like
Yeah.
this is gonna be crazy because like even in the movie he the baby was so important. Like the baby was actually a pinnacle role in the movie because Galactus was like, yo, I'm gonna need that baby, man. Like I have to kill that kid. Like he can satiate my hunger. And the Fantastic Four were like, oh nah, we can't be having all that. We I'm not about to give you the baby. Like we're not doing that. And they had a brief moment where they touched on it and they were like, yo, like Reed Richards was considering giving him the baby. Like he was like actually like he was like, yo, like not for nothing, but like the whole planet or my firstborn child. And, like he had to sit there and like come to the terms with like, yo, like, yo, this is I don't know, like I don't know. And I feel as though like their first attempt to like get off world was very creative.
Right. No, definitely. I agree.
Like I feel as though like their first like time trying to get off the planet was a very creative way of doing it. So the whole time Reed is tinkering with this ability or this machine to teleport the entire Earth just somewhere else,
Mm.
like into a different solar system or a different universe with the same solar system or whatever, and almost worked. Like he almost actually pulled that shit off until Shia LaBeouf's Silver Surfer came out of nowhere and kind of blew everything up.
Yeah, I was like, nah,
And
I don't think so.
yeah, she was pretty much like, nah, you're like, but you're not going fucking nowhere. And I was like, whoa, like they're doing it right now, like they're doing it right here, like they're gonna merge Earths now. Like, are we about to watch that happen like in the movie? Like, and she shut it all down. She's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Conveniently though, she didn't touch the one inside the city, so I felt like that was pretty plot grabbing, I guess, because she knew that Galactus would go down to go collect the child anyway.
Yeah.
And they really did portray Galactus like huge. Like Galactus was big, he was scary, he was like,
Yeah, no, he felt like I don't know how to describe him. He was just creepy.
yeah, like he was menacing is what I'll say. Like he
Yeah.
was really
Had the
he was
whole
really
like
about business.
he was like a giant AC. He had like all the tubes connected to him. I don't know.
Yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with is what I'll say. As far as when it came to him being a predominant villain in the movie, like
Yeah.
like he was a villain, like he was
Right.
bad,
He's
like
like what I imagine like Darth Vader, but if he was like a giant, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like
that makes perfect sense.
that's pretty much how I see Galactus.
Like his presence was menacing. A lot of his clips and scenes was like they were not one shots, but they were ominous. Like he had this type of pull on him that was very grabbing. I did love how we actually got to see this Fantastic Four's family like actually feel like a family, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. Especially with the kid and everything, I feel like it was really great seeing the way like Johnny and Ben were with Franklin, and you could really tell that they like all really had this like family dynamic going on throughout the movie, and I thought that was just cute and heartwarming. despite all of, Galactus's shenanigans.
Yeah, like despite Galactus shenanigans, Johnny Storm and the Thing, like they bounced really well. Like not even just like because of their characters, like the actors, like they really bounced off each other perfectly, and they kind of really did portray this oh yeah we're two fun uncles type of duo, and a lot was touched with their characters, especially with the Thing and him. They didn't really touch on him having a problem with him being, rock formated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they didn't touch on that like at all, like with him being rock formated, like him having a problem with it and stuff like that. Like he was kind of like,
Right.
like this is what happened, this is who I am, like I've accepted it, like now, like
No,
this is,
yeah.
I'm fine.
There was a lot of deleted scenes too, which kind of like threw me off because if you watch the original trailer, there are some scenes that were cut in the actual movie. And I know some of those scenes I think did include Ben because one clip that I watched had him on like a dating show, and he was picked out of like the other two, three men. So it's like I don't know if maybe they cut out some scenes with Ben or but I think they did really good um with his character, with Johnny, with honestly with everybody.
Yeah, no, I felt like they did, and I felt like Sue Storm, she
Mhm.
delivered a fantastic role. See what I did there? No, you didn't get it. You didn't see what I
Yeah.
delivered a
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay,
Fantastic.
she looked. She delivered a fantastic role with Franklin in her arms, and she was talking to the people, and she was essentially telling them like, "Hey, like, I'm not about to give up my baby to save any of you, nor am I about to give up y'all like at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's still going to work hard to, they really displayed more of her being a diplomat and her role as the Fantastic Four, like diplomat, like between nations and stuff like that. Like she's well informed in her government.
Yeah.
She cares about a lot of the other countries and whatnot. She formed the first worldwide like peace treaty. Like
Right.
everyone's on the same page. Like they're all working together and stuff like that. Everyone besides Latveria, which we'll get into that in a huge minute. I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
I was like, whoa! I was not expecting to see that already. So they really touched on Sue Storm's character, not her just being a member of the Fantastic Four, but they also touched on what she does independently, and that she's not completely reliant on the team itself. She can do things on her own as well. And I felt like though that was a good touch to add for her character. It didn't make her just the all right, well, there's Reed, Johnny, and the Thing, and then there's Sue Storm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they all individually do their own things, but they come together for Sunday night dinner.
Exactly. Right. I mean, you have Johnny, he's doing his, his little research and all of that. Reed is focused on, all of his own research. You can kind of, there's clips of him, like, teaching in the classroom, things like that. Sue is extremely involved politically. Um, and you can tell just by the way, like, when she comes out and gives that speech after everyone is, like, angry at the Fantastic Four for deciding not to give up Franklin to Galactus. You can tell that she is well versed and that she really is a very strong character as a whole. And Ben has his whole thing with this one teacher. I think she's a teacher going on.
Yeah,
So,
I think she's either a teacher or a
right.
nun. I'm not
Exactly. So
entirely
all
too
these
sure on that.
characters, individually have, fulfilled themselves, but as a family, they come together and they're stronger together and they work together to solve the nation's problems.
Right, and we had another little funny little scene with the underminer, and I'm going to touch on that in just a second. The Mole Man is a classic Marvel villain and was actually the first enemy of the Fantastic Four faced. Debuted in Fantastic Four issue 1, 1961. He lives underground and controls an army of monsters, making him a very memorable, though sometimes campy villain. So, like, in the movies, there was no full Mole Man scene in any released Fantastic Four films from 2005 to 2015. In the 2015 reboot, some fans speculated that the villain Dr. Allen, played by Tim Blake Nelson, could have been Mole Man in the sequel, but that never happened. So my whole thing was with that scene was, um, when they were talking about the underground and stuff like that, I was like, yo, like they touched on a lot of villains, like a lot of the Fantastic Four villains. Like they talked about Dr. Orangutan, or whatever his name was, the monkey,
Yeah.
and a couple of other like villains that they faced and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then we saw a scene where Reed Richards figured out all the gang organizations like around the city and had the police like hunt them down. Like when his son was born.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like this is crazy. I was like, this is funny. But I did find the Mole Man scene in particularly interesting, because I was thinking back to the Incredibles. At the end of the Incredibles in 2004, the Underminer emerges from the underground in a giant drill machine and declares war on the surface world. And then in the Incredibles 2, they continue that story, but the Underminer gets away. And I'm like, are these like the same like villain, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that actually is very weird.
Cause like in my mind, I'm like, there's 100% like this.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't think so.
like there has to be like some, like maybe it was like a spiritually like connection kind of, or like it was a nod to the Incredibles or something like that. But like I don't know.
Right.
I felt like it was interesting.
No,
I felt like it was
definitely
really
is.
interesting.
Yeah.
But coming towards the end of the movie, what were some of your thoughts on that?
It was a lot. I was just very surprised at how amazing the movie was. I mean, I expected it to be good, but it was really good. And I was like, I enjoyed it. And I, walked out actually feeling fulfilled by a Marvel movie for once. And I was obviously still
For
thinking about
whoa, for once.
Yeah, no, I mean it's been a while since not for once at all. Like I have last good movie I've seen with Marvel a long time ago. I mean, I loved Thunderbolts, but it definitely was not as good compared to Fantastic Four. But it was good. I guess there's like a rating scale I have for Marvel movies.
I mean, I guess.
Almost like
that's
I grade them
understandable.
like I'm grading a paper, literally.
I get that. I can understand that. I feel as though for me, huge spoiler warning. Again, if you did not skip this segment or if you did not see the movie yet, I'm just reiterating. When the end credit for Doctor Doom, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was. I was not expecting that at all. I really
Like
was
the
not.
the end credit for Doctor Doom, like
Yeah, I thought
I was like, whoa.
that it might have something to do with the end credit from Thunderbolts. Which I think it still does, but also I was not expecting that end credit scene.
No, I wasn't. But it's definitely going to take a huge. They're gonna have to do this correctly. If they don't do it right, then we're not gonna have the same feeling for Doomsday as we did for Infinity War.
I think that they will, because it seems like they are somewhat understanding what's bringing people to theaters. So I'm hoping that they follow the fans' advice.
No, I do too. And speaking of following the fans' advice, we're gonna move over into Avatar: Fire and Ash. They dropped its first trailer right after right before the Fantastic Four screening, and it blew up online. We met Varag, voiced by Ona Chaplin, leader of the fire-wielding Ash clan. She's a fierce new Na'vi antagonist who has Kiri hostage, as for what we can see. I know in the last movie, The Way of Water, they were talking more about spiritually how the avatars are connected to not only land but sea. And like what the water tribe looks like for that. And we did see Kiri do a lot of spiritual things in that movie, as far as moving the sea life around and talking to the trees and stuff like that, and in the water and the fish and stuff. And
Right.
I think they're gonna touch more on her abilities in this movie.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I just watching the trailer, I felt like it was definitely a lot more intense than the last movie. I just know this movie is going to have us all sitting there oh my god, what did I just watch?
Right. And I feel as though we're getting a whole new terrain. Like we're in a more war torn like Pandora with volcanic terrain, flying machines, new
Mm-hmm.
Na'vi tribes. It's like a clear tonal shift to the last movie,
Right.
and
Everything was beautiful and there was water and
yeah. So I'm gonna consider it like a massive level up from the Way of Water,
right.
more emotionally intense and more cinematic. And I hope they really do the characters right in this movie, and they touch on a lot of things. One of the key things that stuck out to me in that trailer was when Sully was talking to his wife, and he told her, he was like, "You can't live like this," and he was like, "You can't live in hate." And it cut, to a different scene or whatever. I just feel as though that's like, because she lost her son in the last one,
Right.
and she only has now 3 kids left, and if you don't include Spider, so she said there's like 4. So I feel as though like that's going to be a huge thing, and between Spider and him talking to his dad that he didn't get to be raised with, but is now getting raised by an avatar version of his father, like how is that going to like ping off him, and all this stuff really does take a toll and play a role, and I feel as though if they do it right, then we should be fine.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I really think I have a lot of hope for this movie, especially watching the trailer. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I really am.
Right, is there anything else that you found about the Avatar?
Not really. I mean, personally, I'm not too well versed in the Avatar lore. I'm definitely just more of an avid enjoyer of the movies.
Understandable. I had reached into a few things. A buddy of mine sent me an article. James Cameron is now developing an animated Avatar anthology series, taking inspiration from the Animatrix.
Mm,
He wants boutique animation studios to explore lesser known corners of Pandora. Think like prequel stories, side characters, and events outside of the Sully family. So almost how Star Wars does the Bad Batch, Andor,
right.
all of that stuff, and
Mm,
how all that fits into the bigger universe of the movies.
right.
Like all these other things were going on while the movie was happening. And since Avatar is already 90% CGI, he seems more of this as like a natural extension. Like some projects might even become animated films down the line, like if like they get the time for it.
Right.
But I feel as though it's going to be interesting how they play, into this. Like,
No,
you know what I
definitely.
mean?
Because Avatar is, the movies are one thing, but seeing this maybe become like something more, like a TV series, or you know what I mean? Because, with Star Wars, there's a lot of content.
Yeah,
It's
no,
gonna
there's an
be,
endless supply.
yeah, it's gonna be difficult to, create that amount of content with Avatar. I definitely think that they can create a show. They just have to do it correct. The way they go
No,
about it
no,
really matters when it comes to, certain industries like Avatar. It does have a fan base. Um, so obviously, it has people who really enjoy the movies. So I'm sure the people who enjoyed the movies are definitely going to be interested in a show. Just really depends on what the show's going to be about, the storyline, the characters that they're going to be, are these going to be this different characters from what the characters in the movie? Are they going to be a whole new line of characters? You know what I mean?
no, and I completely understand, and I agree with that. If anything,
Right.
I feel as though how they go about it really does matter.
Mhm.
Like this movie's coming out in 2027, and at least 2 more sequels are planned for 2029 and 2031. So like this is like, if this winds up becoming big, like because we waited like 50 years for the second one. So like
I know, it took
if
a
they pull
really
this
long time. I was like,
if they
what?
pull this off, like if they pull this off and the shows are good, like we're gonna have a competitor with Star Wars. Like at that point, like
Yeah.
not competing in the
I
sense of
don't.
like Star Wars is his own movie and
Right.
Avatar is his own movie, but I mean content wise, like they're gonna wind up picking up, or if not getting close to having the same almost amount of content as Star Wars if the animated
Right. Well,
shows do
I feel like
well
that's
and they keep
kind
pushing out
of,
different stories.
yeah, that's kind of like Marvel right now. I mean, they're, you got Marvel shows being placed on Disney Plus that are consistently, being put out, and then you have consistent new drops of Star Wars content. But the thing with Star Wars is it's not just live action TV. There is so many animated shows, surrounding Star Wars. It is insane. I've never seen anything like what Star Wars has done with their industry. You know what I mean? There's
No,
just
and
so much
I get that.
content. It is going to be really hard for Avatar to try to combat Star Wars because Star Wars
Yeah.
has just such it has a book series. It's a really long book series. There's many books on Star Wars, so many.
Yeah.
And a lot
Well,
of that
Avatar,
content
a
is
lot of
pulled
people,
from the books.
right? A lot of people don't know this, but Avatar is actually a book series.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Avatar actually has books, and they actually have comic books. Like,
No, I did not know that.
yeah, Avatar. Yeah, I could Google it. Like, I feel like I'm right.
I was gonna say I feel like okay, I did see something about the comics. Which, you know, if they pull content from the comics, I'm sure, unless the comics are also based off the movies, I don't know. Avatar has a whole website, which is pretty nice because you can actually they've got games, experiences, the movies.
So hold on. Now I recant my statement. No, Avatar by James Cameron is not based on a book series. However, are there books? Yes, but they are supplemental to the films, not the source material.
Hmm.
But there are books. There are books, but they're not. Yeah, they're not source material for the film. So there's
Right.
Avatar: The Next Shadow, which is a graphic novel. There's the Avatar: The High Ground, which is a comic series, and then there's Avatar: The Adapt or Die, another prequel series. There's art books, there's upcoming novels. A Young Adults novel are reportedly in development to expand the lore of Pandora. And just a little fun fact, James Cameron actually wrote hundreds of pages of lore and world building before making the first film. Some of that is now being turned into books and comics, but it's all in the film first, not based on an existing book series. So I was wrong what I just said earlier. I had to correct myself. I had to do a live correction.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of books actually that deal with smaller aspects. Like they have a visual dictionary, which is just kind of showing some of the, just the details, the creatures, the vehicles, the weapons throughout the movie. Like Avatar has a really good supplemental lore, and it's interesting, but definitely the amount of content is new content that hasn't already been written yet. So
Yeah, no,
they're going
I can
to need
100% see
to
that.
take their time writing, these shows out and coming up with ideas for what they really want this to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just feel as though I don't know. I don't know. If they do this right, then yes, all three of those, they will be the biggest, the three biggest series running. Like if Dune starts doing it, then we're gonna have a problem. We're
Dune
gonna have
has already
four.
started, Dune Prophecy. But they haven't done an animated series. It's just a live action on HBO. I believe there's only one season out right now. So yeah, they did start. I don't know where Dune is planning on going. Dune also has a lot of content. Like I said, it's a book series. And
There's an
there's
entire language.
yes, there's so much lore that comes with Dune. um, but yeah, no, I'm excited for this new movie. It hasn't even been rated yet, which is kind of crazy. So I guess we'll come to see what this movie will be rated.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we touched on a lot. We touched on a lot today. Marvel's finally found its stride, in my opinion, with the Fantastic Four film. And over in Pandora, James Cameron is reminding us that Avatar is just getting started. So we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to movies and content and stuff of that nature. And we'll, you got any closing remarks, Summer?
We'll be back for the next episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you want us to make more episodes like this, talking about your favorite movies and TV shows and pop culture.
Yes, we will see you all next time.
Bye.